Welcome to Hoyt's Bowhunting Whitetails. It's Wednesday, October 19th, and I just got down to the farm. I slept at Mom and Dad's last night because 22 degrees, just didn't feel like spending the night in that shed. So I'm gonna try something a little bit different this week. I'm just gonna go through it like it's a diary and let you follow along day by day. I'll just hit the high points, the stuff that's related to the deer management, some of the projects I've got going on, and then the hunting, of course. And I'm not gonna give you any heads up of what's coming next. You just have to follow through on the whole episode and see if this works. If it does, we might use this format in the future. Just something a little bit different. So like I said, just got down to the farm, and it's time to let the Stinky brothers out. All right, come on. They're not too eager to go. I'm going to show you where I get my water, where we're going to get our water. It's the problem is you don't hear this every day, but there's a beaver living in there. So this is the spring house, and what you can see first, the water comes out through a hole at the base. Well, there's a small beaver that got in here through that crack, and he thinks he's going to make the spring house into a beaver pond. Well, I wonder if the Stinky brothers can run him out. You can see Mr. Beaver. Come on, buddy. You never know what you're going to run into on one of these missions. You got a little rough there toward the end, so I turned the video off. Let's just say that once Duke gets into something, he is a killer. So that beaver, once he got too close to the edge, he got into some big trouble when Duke grabbed him. As docile as that dog is, boy, I tell you what, he's killed more raccoons and possums and stuff in our yard than you can possibly imagine. So that beaver won't be bothering us again, but I also don't think I'll be drinking any water out of this spring anytime soon either. Okay, so I'm looking at this disc now, and it's missing a pin. Let me show you this. See if I can get you a good angle. Right there. All right, so I did find a bolt I can put in here to hold this disc together long enough to finish this project of I think 5 more acres. But I don't know if I'll do it right now. I might do it tomorrow. I'm gonna go pull some trail cameras next, I think. So I didn't learn too much today. I've got 2 more cameras out there to pull. Probably pull those tomorrow, and then that'll be it for the year. Hoyt's Bowhunting Whitetails is brought to you by Day 6 Arrows, Redneck Blinds, Code of Silence Apparel, Fuse Archery, and Hoyt. Okay, so I want to introduce Ethan Stubbs. Ethan's going to be filming this afternoon, and hopefully will contribute a little bit of content for us this season too. Ethan was a intern at Midwest Whitetail, was it last year?
Yep.
And he's been producing a land series for High Point Land Company. They've got a YouTube channel, and I've done 20 of the 25 episodes we were going to do.
Yep.
So there's 20 of them uploaded. It's pretty cool stuff. You might want to go check that out. It's at, what's the name of that channel?
It's just the High Point Land series on High Point Land Company, a YouTube channel.
Okay, so so we're going to go up on the ridge where I think that bigger 10 point is living, one with the blind eye. And we'll just sneak in there with this wind. We've got about a 15-mile-an-hour wind, would you say?
Yeah. Northwest, so.
We should be able to sneak in with that much wind. So we're just going to kind of wing it, sneak up in there and see what happens. I don't know how we're going to get out. That's the only problem. I mean, getting in, we should be okay. But getting out at the end of legal shooting time, we'd have to come back down through that little food plot, which I hate to do. But we'll figure something out. It's just a good time of the year to start bouncing around and trying a few different things, you know, to kind of get your finger on the pulse.
Especially if you got a buck you got patterned and has been daylighting, it's time to make a play on him.
Yeah, and he was up this valley and on one of these little secondary ridges. I flew it with the drone just a little bit ago, so there's plenty of footage of that we can show too. But yeah, he's a pretty solid buck. I'd say, I don't know what he would score, but I think he's 5 years old. He's got a blind eye. That's pretty cool. his right eye's blind.
Yeah, we're gonna need it all we can get.
Yeah, like I've always said, if only they were blind and couldn't smell, this wouldn't be quite so hard.
Yeah, then we'd have a chance.
Yeah, so we're gonna gear up here and head up on the ridge.
Well, I think about as ready as I'll ever be.
Yep, here we go. I've got Ethan on the back here, and we're gonna go give it a try. The biggest problem with the first hunt of the year is you're never organized. This is my first hunt, and it's taken me 45 minutes or an hour just to get all my stuff together here, but it's finally ready. From here on, we're gonna go kind of silent mode. Maybe we'll do a little bit of whispering once we get up in the valley, but we're going up that direction, and we'll check back in once we get there. We've driven about 150 yards. That's about as far as we're going to go. So I think he's living either on that ridge or the next one. You can't see it very well, I'm sure, with that wide angle lens, but it's right behind those taller trees. There's two ridges right here. And I had daylight pictures of him coming off that second one down into this little food plot down in this valley about 3 nights in a row right before dark. So I think what we'll do is we'll park down behind the levee of this pond just to hide the four-wheeler. We'll sneak around the pond and we'll go up that valley between these two ridges. And then the wind is coming this way, so it's blowing off the top. We just have to go really slow and glass ahead, because if you do that, a lot of times you can see them and you can avoid them when they're bedded. It's getting a little bit late in the day for that. It's best if you do that right during the middle of the day, but it's getting on towards the time when they're going to be on their feet, which is kind of bad, but it is what it is. So that's the plan, and I'm not going to do any more interviews probably until we get up to the tree. So you hear people talking about these hang and hunt evening hunts, and they think that it's pretty cool, but I'll tell you one thing, I hate them. It would be way better if we had to stand up right now. We could sneak in there. It's about 2:45, and my resolve is starting to weaken, carrying all this stuff, looking at that bluff that we got to climb. I wish we'd have started about 2 hours ago, because we have to go slow to sneak past the deer. Then it's going to take me a while to get two stands up. He has been coming down into this valley, and there's beans planted down in here, and the wind is blowing down the valley with this northwest wind. So I think we're going to go, there's a cottonwood tree on the upper end of this that we can get our stand into, on the upper end of this little draw right here. I think we're going to go sit there this evening and see what comes out into the food plot. I think that's going to be a lot better than busting up on that ridge. Like I said, if it was 2 hours earlier, then I think it'd be a good idea because we could take our time. But that's just my excuse for not carrying this 2 tree stands and all my crap up that bluff. That tree is just too big to be safe. When you can't reach around it, it's really hard to set up the stand. So I just didn't want to take any chances. It's not worth it. So there's a smaller one right over here. It's right above the scrape, but that's all right. We'll be able to get up into there really quick. So we're right on top of the scrapes. There's 2 or 3 big scrapes right below us. One of them's got fresh urine in it. I'm sure the bucks, when they come down this valley, they stop in this, at the bottom of this tree. It's a cool spot. There's no doubt about it. I don't think we ever would have made it up to the top of that ridge without bumping deer. Not with 2 people. So this worked out better. So this is that apparel from the Coat of Silence that I've been talking about. It's really warm, really quiet. It's got a cool pattern to it that really blends in if you look at it against the tree. It's really nice. And Ev, my friend Ev, is the guy that developed this. Ev worked at Cabela's over the years. I worked with him there quite a bit, but now he's on his own. And he's finally ready to start shipping this stuff. So if you're interested, for what it is, it's pretty affordable. Good overall clothing. So check them out at coatofsilence.com, and I think you'll be really happy with it. I love it. Super comfortable, super quiet, blends in good, warm, perfect. Good. We've seen 4 small bucks and 2 does so far. And I thought the one was maybe a running all over the place up there, these young ones. Well, that's it for today. I think there were 7 bucks that came out in the field, and maybe 1 doe and 1 fawn. So it was mostly bucks. The one was probably a 3-year-old, nice 10-pointer. For sure, my daughter would have been happy to shoot that deer, and I would have been proud of her to shoot it. It'd be a great deer to see get 2 years older, but I'm not going to lose any sleep if she shoots it. There's 1 buck about 150 yards away, and I think we can sneak out now. I don't want to wait till he leaves because something else might show up, and then we're going to end up spooking him. So we're going to get out, and I'm not going to hunt in the morning, but I'll get out tomorrow afternoon Jordan's going to be here. She's driving up. She had to do some work in the office, so she didn't get up with me, but she'll be up tomorrow. And then hopefully we can find a buck for her tomorrow.